Ready to begin your business? Should you be an LLC or a C corporation? How do you track the cost of goods versus operating supplies? What are your depreciable assets? Are you structured to obtain business credit? Not sure? Get a boss. An individual business operations success suite from Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services will position your business for success and avoid the pitfalls of startups. From registering with your state, operating agreements, bookkeeping, tax filings, and more, Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services can be your growth partner at every level of your business. Schedule your needs assessment today at www.elite8financial.com/boss or by phone at 469-412-0056.
This is Dr. Tamia Gass with Rejuvenating Chiropractic.
This is Nara Reed with Modified Nutrition Health Coach.
This is Karen Marcel with June Street Barbershop.
This is Tiffany Marcel with Marcel Luxury Realty, and you're listening to Boss Talk Radio.
I paid the cost to be born.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Who's ready to get it in on this Monday morning? Some people want to stay in the bed. Some people want to go take it to the head. It's time to get motivated. Let's get up. We're going to have a good time today. I'm going to talk to you guys about like mindset versus mutual objective. But go ahead and get a little bit of that bounce in you right quick. Let me know when it's working for you. We're going to do that one more time because I like that beat. All my 504 people, y'all know what it is already. Time to get up. It's Monday morning. Let's do this motivation. Make sure to leave your name on Facebook so I can shout you out. Let me know where you're calling in from. If you're tuning in on YouTube, share the video. Facebook, share the video. If you're tuning in on Clubhouse, go ahead and invite some other people to the room. We're going to get it started this morning. This is your Boss Monday motivation. We're going to get into it. So the other day I read something from my brother-in-law, and it said, you can, I think it was kind of like a life hack thing. He said, you can improve the quality of your life and reduce your stress by not making other people's problems your problems. I was like, that's real. Thing is that when you're in a position like myself, when you're doing mentoring and coaching and stuff like that, oftentimes people are telling you about their perceived problems. Because in the grand scheme of things, it's not really a problem. It just seems like a problem to them because they're in their head, they're in their space or whatever. And they just need a little help thinking their way out of that. But while I was thinking about that, I just happened to have a couple other conversations over the course of the weekend with some friends, people I consider friends that were kind of going through some things. And, you know, if you've ever talked to me, you know that I'm that friend that I'm not going to lie to you to make it sound fly to you. I'm going to give it to you the way it is. And, you know, it might sting a little bit. It may seem insensitive. That's why everybody can't be my friend. But at the end of that, you have truth and empowerment to run away with, right? So in listening to these problems, one of the things that I caught in one case scenario was that it was avoidance. They were just trying to not deal with what they were really actually going through or the impact it was having on them. So they were kind of acting out and at the same time putting the blame on other people, like pointing to other people or whatever. Oh, this person did this person did this or whatever, and making it seem as though they were being just reactionary to the things that were coming out of that, when in reality, they kind of put themselves in those situations to avoid what they were really dealing with, you know. And in this case, it was something serious they were dealing with that were out of their control, you know. Then I had another situation. Someone wanted to talk to me, and what was interesting about this one was that they didn't really have a problem. Good morning, Sharita from Houston. These people really didn't have a problem, but they were looking for lack of better words, plausible deniability. Like, they went, and what I discovered in them talking to me was that they had this same conversation with 3 or 4 other people that they quote unquote looked up to, respected their opinion. So I asked them, well, why are you asking all of these people their opinions about this? And they were like, well, is it wrong to seek the opinions of people that you look up to? And I was like, well, here's the thing. None of us are actually like dealing with that. And you really don't take advice, you know. So what you're really doing is looking for an out. You're looking for, you know, an excuse to drag this situation along, when in reality, you already know what you need to do and how to do it. Because let's be clear, here's the reality. If you really think about it, matter of fact, I challenge you to dispute this. If you really think about it, 50% of all problems all people have are directly attached to their finances. And what I mean by that, before some of y'all go getting out the way, here's the reality. It's not a problem until it exceeds your budget. Anything that comes to you, anything that happens or whatever, if you have the resources and the revenue to take care of it, you ain't tripping. So 50% of the problems that almost anybody has is directly tied to their finances. So what's the other 50%? This is an even harder one for people to accept. The other 50% of people's problems is a result of decisions they made prior to that problem existing. What are you talking about, George? You created the problem. Somebody saying right now, well, no, there's some problems beyond your control. No, it's not. I'm going to show you why. Think of a problem, then go to the source of that problem. When you get to the source of that problem, which probably really isn't the source, it's just where you're complacent thinking is the source because it doesn't put blame on you. But when you get to the source of that problem, what you're going to find is usually it's a decision you made prior. Like, let's say you have a teenage kid that's running out of control. I'm not telling you how to raise your children or whatever, but chances are when they were young, they were allowed to talk back to you, express their opinion. You thought the shit was cute. You criticized people who discipline their child differently or whatever, but now their child is in line and yours is talking crazy to you or whatever. This is a result of a decision you made, you know. So saying all of that to get to this, I saw this video this weekend. Shout out to my man, Derek Harper. It was his birthday weekend. And so him and a bunch of his friends went down to Miami. No big deal, right? It's Miami. But here's what was cool about this. I thought this was fly as I don't know what. And some people couldn't receive it because they may have thought, you know, well, they're showing off or stunting or whatever the case may be. Personally, I looked at it as Black excellence because no one in the video was an athlete or a rapper. And those are the two things that we get like grouped into, right? So this didn't apply to either one of these people or whatever. And it was about 15 or 16 of them. They went down from Georgia, Atlanta or whatever. And what they did was they shipped their cars down there, right, to Miami or whatever, so they could cruise around and do their thing. Now, the cool part about this was all of the cars were Lambos, Ferraris, Rolls Royces, souped up vets and everything, customed out or whatever. I mean, they was like being stopped. People were asking them like, are y'all doing a rap video? You know, they like, nah, this is just black excellence, you know. And when I looked at that and I was thinking, I was like, this is cool, but some people are going to miss this. And he said something on the video. He said that someone told him that the only reason he was able to be around these people was because he had what he had. And his response to that was, no, I have what I have because I'm around these people. Let's get into it. Let's talk about this thing called like-minded and mutual objectives. See, I like to challenge narratives, you know, because sometimes when narratives start to get popular, they lose their sauce, they lose their essence, and it kind of gets watered down, right? So you always hear people say things like, well, if you hang around 4 broke people, you'll be the 5th one, or broke-minded people, you'll be the 5th one, or whatever. And that's largely true. Like the environment you're in, the circle of influence around you, you know, even if you're at the top of that circle, if it's not a good circle, you're at the top of what exactly? So here's the thing though. There's a level of circles where you really have to be principled and you have to have independent thought. And in those circles, you can have a mutual objective without ever agreeing on different points about how to get there or what's the right way or anything like that. Because you have a vested mutual interest in achieving the objective, you're able to work together to produce more, and you're able to hear different points of view. But if the only people you're ever around thoughts are limited to your same thoughts, when do you ever learn something new? When do you ever get a new perspective? When do you ever hear a different viewpoint? You're limited to like-minded people, you know, and this is why this is the benefit of networking. When you have the opportunity to get around other people, if you can discipline yourself enough to take your need out of the equation. Too often people go to network and they're just trying to slap cards and get business. That's not how you do it. What you really want, as my girl Sharita say, is you want an ecosystem. You know, this is one of those things where when you're not in the room, people that you've planted into, invested into, they're speaking on your behalf because something came up that you're suited for. And as a result, they're speaking your name in that place or whatever. And it may be somebody that do not agree with how you do things. I mean, some of the closest people to me, they always say, George, you off the Richter scale, you just let it go or whatever. But they still love me because they know it's coming from a good place. You know, so I challenge you guys to get around people who have a mutual objective, not just a like mindset, because a like mindset can limit you. And there is a purpose and a place for a like mindset, but there's also a time where you can disagree about any segment of the thought, you know, and still get some things accomplished. So I just thought that was a beautiful thing, man. They were down there in Miami, and it was just, you know, a bunch of Black millionaires just doing their thing, having fun. And it was illustrating how you can work hard and play hard, but you have to put yourself in certain circles or it's going to hold you back. You know, you can't grow with people that's going to hate on you. You know, This was a bunch of people that was just showing each other how to do it. You know, they were all in different lanes, but all had a little something in everything that everybody was doing because they all wanted to grow and they all wanted to see everybody win. Does your circle look like that? Think about it. It's Boss Motivation. We out, y'all.
I did what I had to do, so I threw.
You know that's my jam, my way. Talk to you.